Hey everybody, welcome back. First Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. If you're new to the show, this is where we answer our community's questions. Each and every weekend, we typically have now been getting to about 5 every Saturday and another 5 every Sunday. If you want to follow along, that would be great. Head on over to stevencabral.com/3473 to see what the community is writing in this weekend. As I always say, the question might not be for you, but trust me, you're going to run across a coworker, community member, someone from church, a family member, a loved one who has this question. So let's dive right into it. Let's see who we can help today. As always, let me just give you my disclaimer. No medical advice, treatment plans, cures, or diagnosis. Our job is to find what the underlying root cause is, and then of course, help you to finally heal. All right, Laura is up first. Laura says, "Hi, Dr. Ball. I was listening to your podcast, Can You Cheat Death, on episode 872, and you say your doctor should check your cholesterol, CRP, and homocysteine levels. Could you please tell us what the ranges are, normal healthy levels? Please and thank you, and happy healing to everyone." Thank you, Laura. Happy healing to you as well. Now, here's where I give you my little disclaimer. No, it's not a disclaimer, but you wrote in on June 22nd, and this show debuts on 8/9. That means we're about what? We're actually not that far behind, about 6 weeks. So in the last 6 weeks, though, I know you've been tuning in, I actually came out with a show on advanced cholesterol profiles, where your ranges should be, and what you should run. So let's go over where is that show. It's definitely going to be a Thursday show, right? Let's see, on cholesterol. Well, I'll look for 2 more seconds, and if I can't, you can always ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. There it is, Beyond Basic Cholesterol. It came out on 7/17. So yeah, it came out about 4 weeks after you asked the question, and it is episode 3450. Beyond Basic Cholesterol, run these advanced heart health panels. And what you asked, there are three of those, and I gave you about 8 that you want to run. So just to answer your question, although you should check them all out, because if you haven't heard about ApoB, apolipoprotein(a), those are on the show as well. So basically, CRP, you want at 0.5 or lower. Homocysteine, basically between a 6 and a 9. In my practice, we like it between a 6 and an 8.5. Lower isn't always better, but higher is not good, right? That's inflammation of the arteries. Total cholesterol, it's really based on the individual. I like a ratio, though, of about a 3:1 of total cholesterol to HDL. Typically in our practice, let's just say we want someone at an 200 for cholesterol at the highest. I really like closer to 180. I know that cholesterol is not the end all be all. I understand that people with normal cholesterol, 50% of the people who have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. So I totally get it. I really don't look at total cholesterol, truthfully. What I look at is your HDL level. So if you have a cholesterol of 180, you want to have at least 60 for an HDL. If you have cholesterol of 200, you want about a 65, 70 for your HDL. You want to look at your LDL. If it's high, if it's a high number, you have a lot of oxidized cholesterol. You have to be careful there, because it does matter. A lot of people say cholesterol doesn't matter. It does matter. We just don't always know which individual it matters more in. So that's why I give you the advanced profile, where we learn much more about your overall heart health. Okay. All right. Melanie's up next. Melanie says, "I have the Essure device implanted for birth control sterilization. They have since recalled it. I would like to get it out and removed, but it's a risky procedure. I don't have specific problems from it, but I was wondering if it could be contributing to some health problems I don't realize." Well, it's a great question, because sometimes these things are risky to be removed. So when you have metal fillings in your mouth, those are risky. Over time, they're going to upturn, and they're going to release more and more mercury vapors into your body, which is a heavy metal, which is not only toxic to the body, it's toxic to the brain. And it may lead to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, other issues as well. So obviously not a good thing, right? So over time. In the meantime, though, you're like, I just got them in 5 years ago, and I have 5 of them. Okay, well, you probably don't want to go in right away, remove all 5 at once, especially not with a biological dentist. So if you read the rain barrel effect, you'll see all the different ways that you should remove them to do it safely. Same with this device. If this device was recalled, you want to find out, again, I'm not familiar with the recall on this device. So why was it recalled? What are the potential risks? And then we need to weigh our pros and cons off of that, right? So what I would run is, your typical blood, like your usual blood work. I talk about that, and we just talked about it on the last one. But I also want you to run the big 5 if possible. I want you to look at gut health. I want you to look at hormones. I want you to look at omega-6s to omega-3s. The big 5 is always what we run in our practice. You can just look at the big 5 at stevencabral.com/big and the number 5, or run the starter kit, which is 2 of those 5 labs. And you can see that at stevencabral.com/starter-kit. All right. So that's what I would do. Inevitably, you're going to have this removed. So it's really a timing thing, right? So it's like, again, I'm not giving you medical advice, but at some point, you're going to want to have this removed. Should it be over the next 12 months? If you're not feeling any health-based issues, I don't know if the repercussions of this is cancer-based. If it's not, okay, what are the repercussions? Let's weigh that, but probably over the next 1 to 3 years. And so then you want to start to think about timeline and the risk of the procedure. Okay, I obviously can't make that decision for you. Jeff is up next. Let's see what Jeff has to say. Hello, what would you do to heal as quickly as possible after a gum procedure? I'm having my gum recession fixed, and I have a few things lined up to aid in the healing process. Here's what I'm planning on using: hydrogen water tablets 3 times a day on an empty stomach, healing like Wolverine peptide stack, BP157, TB500, GHK-Cu, and then ipamorelin, along with daily infrared sauna sessions. I have some C60 oil that I'm considering. What else would you do? Thank you for taking the time to answer my question. You and your team are the best. Hope you have a great day. Same to you, Jeff. So yeah, none of those are necessarily bad ideas, especially in the short term. Like, I think you're probably doing great. What I would also do is, again, all of this has to be cleared with your biological dentist or the person that you're doing this with, but you'll probably want to look at things like just simple saltwater rinses as well, right? So a saltwater rinse, what is it? It's actually creating more of an alkaline environment, less acidic environment, so there's going to be less bacteria in your mouth. You might also want to do that with hydrogen water. So swish a little bit of the hydrogen around. You have to be gentle when you swish, because if there's stitches, you can't knock out the stitches. So again, you have to be very gentle with these things. You want to get them cleared, of course, with your biological dentist as well. I didn't see that you mentioned red light. There's actually red light devices now that you can put in your mouth, or you can simply smile. You can show your gums and you can put a red light based device close to the gums. It has to be pretty close, within a few inches, and that can be very, very important. Overall, for the gums in general, there are very specific nutritional supplements, very specific. I'm just going to give you 5 of my top ones off the top of my head. So you want to use something like the Daily Nutritional Support or Daily Activated Multi for all of your zinc and your copper and your B vitamins. All right, next up, right out of the gates, is a higher dose vitamin C. You get 400 milligrams or so of vitamin C in the Daily Nutritional Support. But for me, again, if this was me, I can only talk about if it was me, I would certainly add another gram, maybe 2. And I usually like to do those in 500 milligram dosages just for better absorption. I would be using the Advanced Collagen Support, and I would be using the Healthy Gut Support. Healthy Gut Support has glutamine and it has more zinc. And the Advanced Collagen Support is obviously a low histamine, great collagen to help with rebuilding collagen and gum, right? My last 2 would be vitamin D3, 4,000 to 5,000 IUs a day, which is 100 to 125 micrograms. And I'd also be using omega-3s, typically 2 grams a day, as long as that's okay, since it's a little bit of a blood thinner. So you'll, of course, want to speak with your surgeon. That's what I would do. Lots of good sleep. The stacks that you spoke about, I'd have no issue with being on those for 6 to 12 weeks. Okay? Hopefully that was helpful. Really great question, Jeff. Mohammed's up next. Mohammed says, good day, Dr. Cabral. I'm a big fan of your work and have utilized many of your Ecolife products. I also regularly watch your YouTube videos and podcast. Your work is incredible. Thank you, Mohammed. That's really kind of you. Appreciate that. And again, we put out a lot of content on YouTube. If you like videos, you like video-based content, head on over. It's just my name, Stephen Cabral. You'll be able to find me over there. And there's over 100,000 people following along with our YouTube-based journey. We're actually going to be putting out exclusive YouTube content this fall, so definitely head on over. I love YouTube. I think it's, fun place to be. They ban me all the time, but I still like it. Literally, they shut us down for a full week. They won't send us our creator awards, but that's not why we do this. We do this to try to help people. So YouTube can keep on doing whatever they do, and we're just going to keep doing our work as well. All right. So, and we're not pulling any punches. So cancer support we'll talk about, and all sorts of different things that gets us banned all the time. Why they pick on our channel, why not pick on others? I don't know, but I don't have any connections. I just do my thing. So we're going to keep on going. All right. Mohammed says, my question is regarding regarding bilateral sciatica nerve pain, which leads to ponolytic changes with nerve root impingement. How can I address this? What do I need to avoid or utilize? I know B1 is good for nerve-related issues. Please weigh in. Yeah, happy to. And please don't single out B vitamins in general. Like B1, yes, good for nerves, good for the thyroid. It's called thiamine, but also B6 is incredible for the nerves, probably even better. And then you can't forget its partners, like its group of friends, which is B9, folate, methylfolate, and methylcobalamin in B12. So they're all real important. That's why, again, I recommend the daily nutritional support or the daily activated multi, which gives you a full B complex. And then you might want to add, again, no medical advice, one B complex capsule at lunch, and then another one at dinner with your DNS in the morning. So that will take care of all of your B vitamins and then some. And then, of course, don't forget your omega-3s, your vitamin D3 for just rounding out the basics of what the human body needs for overall inflammation nutrition. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, of course, add a little bit of full spectrum magnesium at night. All right, but let's talk about the biomechanics of sciatic nerve pain. I can't tell you the amount of times that we've seen it, I have to put this in air quotes, cured literally by working on glute strength, opening up the hip flexors, extending the hamstrings, and strengthening the core. Again, I can't tell you how many times we've seen this happen. It is not an overnight process, but it can happen in 6 to 12 weeks. You have to find a really good personal trainer or functional movement conditioning specialist or chiropractor that will show you a lot of these exercises. Absolutely incredible. You can make this happen. In the meantime, with inflammation, we use a product called Inflammasoothe, 3 to 6 capsules a day. You'll see that on Equalife's site. And we also use 2 proteolytics, sometimes up to 4, upon waking, and those are just called proteolytic enzymes. That's nattokinase and serrapeptase, good for the heart as well, and that's at Equalife. It's just stephencabral.com/shop. That'll take you over there. Specific ones for when you're in a lot of pain. Hot, cold contrast therapy can be really powerful. So basically, what could you do? The easiest way would probably be to, access a cold plunge or a cold bucket if you want, putting the hip in and then coming out and putting a hot pack right on it. And you can do that 3 to 5 times and do that 3 to 4 times a week. But you could also do the reverse, which is basically being in a sauna and then hopping out, putting a cold pack on the glutes. Doesn't work as well, but you can do that. And hot, cold contrast, you can just get a hot pack and a cold pack. Like that also works. So, all of those are great things. And then compression is one of the biggest things. So being seated during the day, one of the worst things you can do. I know sometimes it's painful, but getting up and walking, squeezing your glute is so great for it. That's another thing that we do all the time. Yeah, so there's so many different things, but that's where I would start. All right, hopefully that's helpful. Let's get to one more question today. I want to make sure we do 5. So how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So Sheena's up next. Sheena says, hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for answering my question. I'm 45 years old and starting to feel the effects of perimenopause. Hot flashes every day and night, can't stay asleep because of it, bad breakouts in irregular prolonged periods. Fortunately, no vaginal dryness, but I don't doubt it will come soon. My endocrinologist suggested I could take low-dose birth control pill and says it'll help. I'm hesitant taking something synthetic every day as I know it could come with long-term side effects. I've been taking this organic tincture for menopause that includes sage, black cohosh, burdock root, chase tree, dong quai, and motherwort, and it's really helping for about a year, but not as much anymore, which is why I'm considering birth control pills. What are your thoughts and recommendations? You're the best. All right, so I teach this in depth in the female hormones course at stephencabral.com/courses. I have a lot of free podcasts on it. I teach it in depth in IHP level 3, but the very best thing that you could do is run one of 2 labs. Okay. Which one do I want to recommend for you? Let me give you one recommendation. Stress, mood, and metabolism test. You could run the menopause and fertility test, but you're not yet in menopause. You could run it's like the AMH levels to see how close you are to menopause, but I don't know if that matters. You're in menopause when you haven't had a menstrual cycle for 12 months, and you're obviously seemed like you're moving there, but I would run the stress, mood, and metabolism test, and here's the thing. It comes with a 30-minute consultation and a complete personalized wellness plan for your hormones. That's really what you want. I could give you recommendations like the daily foundational protocol, that's with the omega-3s, the vitamin D, the DNS, B vitamins, because again, that supports hormone health. Then I could say, okay, let's also do some progesterone support and estrogen support and DHEA. But I don't know, because you might have more estrogen dominance. You might actually just be lower in progesterone, not estrogen. And I don't know what the birth control pill that your doctor would give you, but oftentimes, yes, there can be a birth control pill or something maybe a little bit more natural, like a patch that's going to release it over a couple days rather than a bigger dose, and then micronized progesterone. But I don't know that you need to go there yet. I really don't. I mean, personally, in our practice, we start with the herbal-based ones, and we would just use a stronger dose than you're using right now, but it would be herbal-based. And we would start with DHEA, which then is allowed to then populate into whatever your body needs, and we don't tell your body what it needs. So that's absolutely where I would start. Just go to stephencabral.com/shop. It'll take you over to Equilife, type in the stress mood and metabolism test, and then we'll take it from there. You just take the lab test and you'll get a personalized plan from there. Hopefully this was helpful, everybody. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for sharing the show with everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new Cabral House Call. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.